What's up, Jazz? This is just the way that like I said, release what's on my mind. If you guys hear it, fine. If you don't, it's not intended for that. I want you to think back really, really hard. Back to the days where you and your dad were eating pizza, laughing at Disney movies. I would like you to ask your mom a few questions. Did she or did she not lie on your dad when they first met about cigarettes to a coworker? Your dad brought her flowers as well. She didn't know I was in the store. I was I wish I was there so I could hear her response. Jen, this isn't a time to be bitter and keep being mad. This is a time to start telling your daughter the truth. She's 22 years old. I'm almost 50. Well, I got 9 years, but I'm getting there. I have spent 22 years dealing with a lot of lies, manipulation, heartache. If you think that I didn't love you when I first met you, even though I forgave you for the stuff that you did, including Big Kmart, including how Jazz was conceived, I have not pressed charges on you. I never even told people what you did until you started attacking my life and lying to my child. And maybe I shouldn't have done that, even though it wasn't a wrong. The only reason I fell out of love for you was because of you. And that is the exact truth. You can ask my mom. I was very, very picky on who I said yes to. Guess I picked really wrong, but I never went by, even though they were beautiful women, I never went by their looks. I always went by the fact that their heart was cloudy and I thought I could fix it because my heart wasn't, and you know that. You also know that I was a very caring and compassionate person. That's why a lot of men would try to look down on me, and you knew that because I was better than them. I wasn't perverted. I wasn't, I didn't even like talking about sexual things. I didn't even like making out in public like you tried to do at the bowling alley. Yeah, your grandmother thanked me for that because she hated you doing that. And I think you did it just because you knew it upset her. I can't prove that. It's just a thought. But you did have that type of mentality. And you need to stop lying to yourself. You have a daughter. And I want you to look very, very closely at that little girl. Because as much as you want to blame me for the way she's turned out, that was not my doing. And you know that. Now you can keep lying and running from the truth, but you know as well as I do, we all have a final judgment, and those things are not going to work. Have you told Jazz about the speaker box yet? How you started that fiasco over nothing. Jen, I understand something went on in your life to make you that way. I have no clue what it was, but I was hoping to fix it. And you did nothing but lie, attack, cheat, steal, and then lie about all that. So you don't remember fake passing out after you got me fired from Six Flags? After I wanted to leave my apartment, or I told you you needed to go because I was so upset with you. Was that to make the nurse think that I hit you? Because you know I didn't hit you. I broke my hand and you didn't have a mark on you? Wow. You must be made out of steel or a steel door. Because that's what I hit, the door. Because you were sitting in front of it. And you knew I didn't want to open that door and hurt you. You were pregnant and acting like a crazy person. All because you were on bed rest and you could not go. Even though I'm working at Six Flags. You're supposed to be on bed rest and you're going to walk around Six Flags the whole time I'm working 10 hours, 12 hours maybe. See, things like that was why we couldn't get anywhere. Oh, why did that keep happening with Tiff? Because she was doing the same thing. She suffers from BPD just like you. At that time, there wasn't that much study on it like there is now. I know we've had our differences. I know a lot of that has been because you won't tell the truth. I've never pressed charges on you, even though you knew I could. I never have. Maybe I should have. But what would that have fixed? Nothing. That would have removed one of Jazzy's parents that she needed. And I told you I had no problem with you being around Jazz as long as you were stable and getting help, staying on medicine. But instead, you decided to pull all this. You know for a fact you came to TikTok, Facebook, which don't worry, I ain't pressing no charges on you. I want all that to stop. I have something very important that I've been working on. That video I showed you is not the only video. That one and others are that one and the other one that I showed. I think I showed 3 on there. Those 3 are just 3 of many. And I mean many. And when I said that we let these police know multiple times, I was not kidding. And there are police cams of that. There should be incident reports. I have plenty of witnesses of that. You forget I have ADHD. My ability to hyper focus is better than anybody on this planet, and you know it. You can admit it or not, that doesn't matter. That doesn't change the reality of it. When I was out working on that dump truck, I was working on that dump truck. I walked away from $3,500 because you decided to leave in the middle of the night with Jazz while I was working on a dump truck that could have killed me at any second. You thought that girl that kept following me around that I was going to date. I told you I would never do that to you, and I never did. Did she follow me around after we broke up? Yes. She was hoping we broke up because she knew she wasn't getting the time of day unless we did. And I assure you, I have plenty of witnesses for that too. One of them passed away with my children, which you very evilly stuck your nose in when you know for a fact you have no clue. You have no clue what it's like to roll your child's body to make sure everybody's telling you the truth. You have no clue what it's like making a promise to somebody that had tried to put you in prison for nothing. You don't know what it's like to be told that three of your children are gone. Gone. Just like that. You lied about the Mary Lou incident. You know I never hit that woman. You know I never even gave her a reason to hit me. You know she was off her rocker. You used to tell me all the time about the stories of how mean she was to you. You said it was because of her pills. When she came down off them, she was mean. And I asked you if she was taking Percocet because I noticed people do that too when they take those things. And you said yes. I was out of I was out of work from American Home and well, Rich for whew, not even a couple of days. You all don't know how hard that work is. And there's nothing wrong with me taking a breather, especially when I have money in a bank account. Especially when I've built a career. Okay? I could go out and do it by myself. I can go out and work for a company. I can go out and build my own company. That's a career. And yes, I did drop out of school to go to work. I also got my GED and my driver's license at the same time and was working. Yeah. Oh, you think I'd just go there and then go home, right? No. I would get there at 6 from work, covered in glue, scrapes, cuts. You remember what I look like when I do carpet. Then I'd go right back to work after 9 o'clock and not get off until about 2, 3 in the morning. Then I'd go home, get me a shower, get to bed about 4, get right back up at 6, and do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Do you know what it's like to work 100 to 120 hours a day, constantly? You don't. And I'm not talking about, walking back and forth serving somebody. I'm not talking about standing behind a cash register. I'm talking about moving things that weigh more than your car. I'm talking about cleaning up the biggest messes you have ever seen in your life. You ever cleaned up VCT after scraping it off of a floor? No. 55-gallon trash can half full weighs over 600 pounds. You know how many of those I would carry in a day? Over 100. You want to talk about work? Okay, then let's not sit there and try and say the things you've been saying. I know you just want to cut me any way you can. Why? Because I didn't want to be with you anymore? I was very upset with you and I had every right to be. Look what you were doing. For no reason, by the way. When I come home that day that you hit your elbow on a speaker box, I was looking like a lobster from laying pipe in the ground. I could barely even walk, I was so burnt. Come walking down the driveway and I get a double bird attitude. I gave you a look like, what the hell is that? And you take off running through the house, from the garage all the way to my room. So, of course, I followed you. I'm trying to figure out what this is about. So, you go to flop down on the bed. I had a truck speaker box sitting there, super cute, blue and black speakers, thin box. It was for a truck. That's what it's called, a truck box. And she hit her funny bone on it and caused a big fight. my mom and my grandmother were there, two feminists that are used to being abused. No, they've never seen me abuse women. It's just that's what they thought when they heard her scream. And I didn't even run to the house. I just walked fast. You were the one that ran. I was just trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And then she gets back there. She hits her funny bone, starts, doing her little goofy scream and then that goofy laugh. All of a sudden, my door gets kicked in. I'm like, what the hell? But of course, that's another story you can twist, right? You really just need to get yourself some help. If you're ever going to be a good partner for anybody, you need to do that for yourself. Even if, you know, if it's not for that reason, do it for yourself. Someday you need to look Jazzy in the face and you need to tell her the truth, Jen. Out of all the good things I've done for you, it weighs out the bad. Most of those disagreements were because of you doing things you shouldn't have been doing. And they were disagreements, they weren't full fledged arguments. You turned them into something that they were never supposed to be. And the only one that ever got violent was you. throwing stuff against the bathroom door, hurting the dog. Yeah, I remember that sweet little puppy. I also remember how it showed up in our lives. I told you we didn't need a dog. Next thing I know, there's a puppy laying at our door. Believe we named her Rosie, if I'm not mistaken. So you forget the apartment that I got us, and I laid the carpet in it. Then I was doing carpet in there for the guy, so we could keep more money in our pocket. Oh yeah, I was taking one hell of a hit. Each one of those apartments is worth 2,500, and I was doing each one for 650. Yep, just that way we could keep the rent money in our pocket for bills and other things. It was actually a very smart move. We had Christmas there. That was great. We had a lot of good times. Yeah, that was one thing I did like about you. You were a goofy little shit. And your dad. Your dad, man, he was just awesome. Yeah, I know some people that are going, why would you want her to tell the truth about how your daughter was conceived? Trust me, she knows. She has free will. She can keep lying, making her hole bigger, making her repenting or judgment day worse. But that's up to her. That slice in my ear was because of you. Yeah, Mr. Bowling Partner. If you really think I don't know that, you're sadly mistaken. You know I know that. Trust me, he didn't get what he wanted. Let's just say that. You almost got me put in there even longer for that one. Because even though I'm defending myself, I can still get in trouble. That's okay. That's alright. I don't know what our father's going to say about that, but that's alright. If you think that caused me pain, you are sadly mistaken again. Do you know how many times a day I get cut with razor blades and break bones and still go to work? I didn't even feel it. Yep, didn't even know it happened. As in, I didn't even know he had something in his hand. I thought he swung at me, and I dodged that, but he had something. Didn't even feel him make contact. Guess I'm getting slower in my old age. I used to dodge that kind of stuff so quick. But anyway, he got choked out and bounced out of the tier by me. Guillotine. Oh, you're lucky I can't pronounce his name, but I don't really want to put him in here, and I can't believe your uncle and you did. That dude and me were good friends, man. Imagine that. Still attacking my reputation just to make you feel validated. I hope you feel good about yourself. I really hope you do. It's going to be short lived when we have to answer for what we've done. I am very, very comfortable with what I got to answer for. I can tell you that. But I know you're not. And if you are, you're just lying to yourself. I don't want you to burn for this. I really don't. You're an evil person. And yeah. You do deserve to at least tell the truth. If Jazzy hates you for it, that's up to her. You were the one that did it. Oh, you're lucky me and Tiff are in this pickle that we are because you know she'd be right on that bench against you. And you know that. You forget I have other witnesses, and they have no problem taking that bench. One of them was in the little situation you caused for today. Yeah, she knows what you did in my room that night. She knows about the fake pregnancy test. Who do you think I talked to about all that? Her and God. That's why it took me 2 months to decide if I was even going to go back with you after all that. I can promise you this much. You're lucky you lied about that, because I would have never, ever said yes to you. And that's not because of hatred. It's not because of anything. That's because I seen who you were. And you were nowhere near the person you tried to let on you were. I was hoping you were. You were so cool. But I guess good things are too good to be true. By the way, that's called love bombing and manipulation, if you didn't know. I told you when Jazzy got old enough, I was going to tell her the truth. Same thing I said to Bethany about Kyle. And I did exactly what I told her I was going to do. And I am going to do exactly what I told you I was going to do. And you will not get in the way of it. Because it's right here on video. She can listen to it. She can believe it. She can deny it. That's her free will. Has nothing to do with me. I told the truth. And you know I did. You were never abused. The arguments we got into were because of you deserved them. It wasn't for no reason. You were never verbally abused. You just didn't like hearing the bad things that you were doing. That's not abuse. That means you don't like accountability. Imagine that. But like I said, you have free will too. Keep doing what you're doing. You might get what you want. You might not. But we all know it's not the truth. I know it. You know it. God knows it. It's time for Jazzy to know it, and it needs to come from you. You need to sit down, look her dead in the eyes, and tell her the truth. And you need to do it soon. If you don't, well, that'll be on you. I'm warning you as a human being. I don't really want to say friend, but as your neighbor. Treat others like you would want to be treated, right? I did do that. And then I treated them like they treated me. Was I wrong for that? I might have been. Because vengeance is the Lord's. It's not yours. It's not mine, even though I get mad just like everybody else does. If you wouldn't have done those things, I'm pretty sure we would have went a heck of a lot longer than what we did. Yep. Maybe you need to hear that. Maybe you don't. Because I've never got the chance to tell you. It's always been all craziness. Yes, you need to tell Jasmine the truth about Sam and Dex. You need to tell her the truth about who had custody, what all happened. Yes, you do. You need to tell her the truth about her father. He never cheated on you. He never stalked you. The apartment you told her that you had bars installed because you were being stalked had bars on it for decades, so you didn't get anything installed. All she's got to do is look at historic photos. I'm not sure exactly what year they put them on there, but they've been on there for a while, ever since I was younger. So, at least the 90s. You think I never went to that post office? Yeah, I did. I used to go there with my grandmother. She used to clean post offices. She was a cleaning lady. You don't think I helped her? I did. Perryville, Northeast, Elkton, Rising Sun. Yep, yep. I know them all. And I know the back part. And Jazzy knows Elkton too. We went there to pick up or to mail something out, and she got to hold a baby chick. And we were shocked that they sent them through the mail. I didn't think you could do that. I figured that would be, hazardous. But an old farmer had a box of chicks in the post office that got sent to him. And I was shocked. Jazzy was so tickled, she loved that thing. I took her to, oh man, Kilby's after that. She loved the donkeys and the fainting goats. We used to scare them and watch them fall over. Yeah, you're little. You need to let her decide, and she needs to know the truth before she decides that. You need to take a good look at your daughter. Like I said, that is the product of your lies and your crazy, crazy, delusional way of thinking. You get mad. I know you probably are. You never like me giving it to you straight. But that's a real person. They don't lie to you. They don't sugarcoat it. They tell you what you need to hear. You can say that's abuse, that's slander. You can say this, that, and the other. You know it's not. If you ever want any type of peace in your own soul, you need to tell that girl the truth. She still decides to hate me, that's up to her. That's not up to you anymore. And you need to stop controlling it because you're scared of telling her the truth. She's gonna find out. All she has to do is dig where her dad told her to, and she will find the truth. Jazzy, if you ever do dig where I told you to, and you find the truth, you can ask me any questions you want. I will not press charges. I will not call the police. I will not do any of that. I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to fight you. You are an adult. It's time for you to stand on your own 2 feet the right way and figure out who you're going to be because you still have not figured that out. And that is a shame because you should have been working on that from 12 years old to 18. Yep, you got 6 years to figure out who you're going to be, and you need to work at that. Now you're an adult. You can still work on it, but it's going to hem you up a lot. Sorry I wasn't there to tell you all that, but you can ask any other adult. They'll probably be a smartass about it. Life changes all the time. You got to have a good personality, character, and head on your shoulders to be able to do that. And right now, the delusional life that you're believing is causing an alternate life for you. That's why they said mental injury. I told you where it came from, and this is why. You can ask any therapist. That is mental injury. And it was not from your dad. Jen, you are still doing it. You need to stop. That is my baby girl, and you know I love her. I don't love the product that you made because that's not Jazzy. And your name is spelled with Z, not S. I don't care how it's on your Social Security card. Your mom was supposed to have that changed, and she didn't. Another spit in your dad's face. I didn't want you to have an S. I wanted you to have a Z. Because my little girl was special, and I wanted her name to be different. That's why. Your middle name is your aunt from your dad's side. She passed the day you were born. That's where you get your middle name. Just in case you don't know, that is where. Of course, your last name comes from this old redneck hillbilly over here. And I'm very proud of that last name, no matter who tries to tarnish it. Yep, I worked a trade that was sought by the public that it should be 2 6-foot burly men, or it's going to be impossible to do. That's how insurance companies look at it. That's how customers look at it. And I showed them all up just by myself. Your mom was there. She's seen it. She knows I don't play about my work. Jen, we are adults, like I said, and I'm asking you to tell your daughter the truth. I would rather us all sit down and clear this up without fighting. But I know that probably ain't gonna happen. I don't even know why you did all this. You knew you could have come and talked to me even if we weren't seeing eye to eye. I've always looked out for you, even though I didn't agree with what you were doing. Hence the reason why I came and saved you from your roommates wanting to beat you up after court and took you to Wes's. And yeah, you can lie to people, but you know the truth. That's why I don't care about the lies that you say. You know that. I never did when we were together either. I always looked at you like, really? Hmm. So you told my daughter that I never fought for her? Do you have any idea how much of my life I gave up fighting for her? Until you made people believe something. Well, a lot of things. So, it made it a lot more difficult, didn't it? Not to mention Tiffany doing what she was doing. You all thought it was funny to turn me into a ping pong ball. That's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of women that do that just because they think it's funny. Oh, there's a lot more about it that they think. Well, it's not really thinking, it's knowing. They know they don't want people to know the truth because then they're going to lose their image that they built. The problem is they build it off of lies. And everybody knows it all comes out. You need to tell her about the microphone incident. She seems to not even remember that. No wonder. You probably gave her a freaking concussion. Yes, Jazz. When you came home and told me that, it was you that kept me from going straight to Steven's house. It was you that wrapped your arms around me and cried and said, Daddy, please don't. And I bent down, got face to face with you, and asked you what you wanted me to do. And that's when my neighbor suggested taking you to the school for CPS. And that's when I told my neighbor, I don't trust CPS. My daughter looked at me and said, well, maybe they could help. Then that same neighbor drove me and you to the school. I don't know if they still have that security footage or not. That was a long time ago. But if they do, I'm pretty sure you could get it. Yeah, I was about to fight a whole school for taking you and doing what they did. I had sheriffs at my door. I had state troopers come to my house, and I challenged every one of them. I did. They wouldn't give me straight answers. They were just playing games. Tiffany told them the same story that I told them about when you came home. Yes, your mom was talking about something about a shower. Of course, she deliberately did that. She always tried to get other people to watch you so she could just go do whatever she wanted. She just was bad at scheduling and timing. That's all. See, if that was our house and my microphone and she sat you down and didn't tell me she was getting in the shower and just left you there, I I would have already have made rounds through the house and noticed, and then I would have been sitting in the living room with you until she got out. Then I would have told her next time, just tell me she's here and you're going there. But see, she didn't do that. She didn't give anybody the heads up because I talked to Steven. I talked to his parents. You all think I just talked to your mom. No. Steven used to work at the Wendy's in Oxford not too long ago. Me and him still talk. Bet you didn't know that. Oh, by the way, that was one of your ex boyfriends. Since I'm so crazy, wouldn't I beat him up? Right. That's what I'm talking about, man. I've been through a lot of psych evaluations, and I have never been deemed crazy or mentally unstable. You, on the other hand, have. You kept running the therapist around in psychological circles, and she knew it. You gonna tell Jazz the way you reacted when she asked you, why do you treat him like that? You got mad because you were trying to paint this picture like you were this abused little thing, and she didn't believe a word you said. You have no clue that that woman's known me since I was 15. She was one of my therapists at the same place I took you. That's how she knows me. Yeah, they all know me. Miss Scheidel, Mr. Scheidel, which he's not with us anymore. And they had another one in there too. I forget their name. That's the only one I don't think I actually went to though. Because they, if one was busy, they'd send you to the other one to get your appointment in. And that's why I took you there because I trusted them. They were they feel you out, they really get to know you so they can really diagnose you properly without just throwing stuff down your throat. That was actually one of the best places around to take you. Same place I took little David, and Tiffany deliberately set up an appointment and didn't take him. Then she was trying to act like because she owed $25 to them for their fee for not, canceling the appointment in enough time, that, oh, he can't go back there. And Miss Scheidel already called and said, that's all right. We can ignore it until you pay it. I'll still see him. It's not like that. And she never took him back. You know why she didn't? Because one of the meetings we had together, I was playing chess with David and talking to Tiffany, and Miss Scheidel interrupted us and she said, if you were born in the 1800s, you would be considered a doctor in your town because of the way you think. And I was shocked. I didn't know. I said, huh? And she's like, yeah, the way you figure things out, the way you're good, with mapping and putting things together, you would have been considered what they call a doctor, somebody that, comes in and helps people figure out why things are happening. And I took that as a big compliment. You guys tried to make fun of it on the internet. You realize I was blown up at 6 years old? You realize I was almost murdered at 3? Yeah, my mom's boyfriend. I was truly molested. 6 years old. Actually, almost 7 years old. It was just before my 7th birthday. And it lasted for a while. I'm the one who put him in jail. My brother and sister hated me because they didn't want anybody to know. Then I had to face him because his lawyer brought him to the house just before the court date. Yeah, I'm not going to say what went down, but I can assure you it was way worse than what any of you could imagine. Jen, have you ever woke up by somebody holding you by the head of your hair because they're mad at your mother? Toss you down a flight of steps, trying to kill you? Then go back at your mother? Then come back at you because he's seen that you didn't even get hurt? And that was God protecting me. It had to be. That was 13 steps straight to hardwood floor, right on my head. I was 3. You really think I would do that to my children or any other child? Not a fucking chance. This is why I don't like sexual things, Jen. This is why I can't stand F boys, or alcohol, or hard drugs, Jen. You want to say that's a lie too? Go ahead. You can look it up yourself. Perryville, 1991. Actually, it was right around the time you would have been born, but, well, yeah, you were born. You were you were only a year younger than me, so you would have been 5. July 6th, the day before your birthday. So you wouldn't have quite been 5 yet. You would have been 4, turning 5. I guarantee you didn't go through any of that. And I thank God you didn't. But I'm just saying. Did you have to fish for your breakfast? How about your lunch? How about your dinner? Did you have to clean those fish and cook them on an open fire next to the river? I did. You think I hated it? No. I thought that was life. I loved it. That's all I knew. That and motels before my mom met my stepdad. I thought he was the greatest guy in the world. turned out to be exactly like her other boyfriends, just better at hiding it. That's why we don't get along. But he's scared of my mom, so at least that was a plus. Guess she was tired of being abused. Yeah, my mom was a sweet little thing too, just like me. I was forced into street fighting, Jen. I didn't have a choice. I figured if I was going to be fighting every day, might as well get into karate and kickboxing and martial arts. And I got really good at it. That's why I like it as a sport. Not only that, I'm an Appalachian. I'm a rough redneck. Most people don't think that by looking at me. You need to look a little closer and look at all the scars. Every one of those was a win, including my ear. I had to pay $300 and hurt a man because of you. Think I enjoyed that? I I like the win because I didn't lose, but I don't I've never liked hurting people. I was made to fight. You have no clue. Bunch of bored trailer park kids. Guess that day they didn't feel like hiking to the river. You realize I've basically worked since I was 8 years old. Mowing business, and I was serious mowing business. I was doing shoot, I'd say at least 350, 350 yards. Yeah, there's a lot of people in that trailer park, and I had all of them on lockdown. I was doing everybody's yard. Didn't start out that way. That's the way it ended up. All the other kids got lazy, didn't want to do it. I didn't. Made president of the Builders Club, was a peer mediator, and I was a middle linebacker, which is not easy to do, especially being my size. I was middle linebacker, not outside, not safety, even though those are good positions. Middle linebacker controls the defense, and he is something to be reckoned with. He is not to take lightly, and that was me. Y'all forget I'm a man. I'm not some kid. I'm a man, and I've showed it with everything I've done. I have people kind of like you guys out there that don't want to tell the truth about themselves or jealous because I was able to do something that they weren't able to do. You should know all about that, Jen. Make sure you tell your daughter about the bond she had with me when she was born, the one you were jealous of. Yeah, that's where all that stuff came from. That's postpartum. No, it wasn't. I know exactly. what it was, and it was not postpartum. You think I didn't go through postpartum with Bethany? You think I didn't go through postpartum with Tiffany? Yes, I did. I know exactly what it is. Gee, look at that, another hour video. Is there something wrong with how long I choose to talk and explain? There's not. There goes another $350. I lost my best friends, 4 of them, in the worst way possible. And here comes you two, trying to act like big bad feminists. I hope you know what you all are turning feminism into is nowhere near what it was for. You're already feminine. You're a woman, okay? And there's nothing wrong with being a woman and doing what women were designed to do. Even though there's nothing wrong with a woman keeping her head on straight and doing things that supposedly a man does. I've never had a problem with that. Whole reason why I always used to play in the dirt and teach my daughter that it's okay to get dirty. People try to tell me, oh, you're making her into a boy. No, I'm not. I'm teaching her that it's okay to like these things too. I'm also teaching her to have confidence in herself, her personality, and the fact that she is a woman. Because people are going to try and mess with it. And you're going to want to keep that, no matter what society tells you. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. I never hurt any of you. I never abused you. I never hurt you. Same with Tiffany. I never abused her. I never hurt her. You women cannot assault men and think that you don't, or think that they don't have the right to hold you down and make you stop hitting them or throwing things at them. I don't know where along the lines women thought it was okay to assault men and they are not to do anything about it and it's just okay with society. It's not. That's called cherry picking. After all this, when they left, I wanted to be with them. The only thing that kept me on this planet was because they did not have the proper justice for what happened to them. Have you ever stopped and put yourself in my shoes? Wouldn't you want justice for them? Wouldn't that be one of the promises you made them? I sure hope so. 4-year-old baby